Welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I have a guest here today, Draizin of Heart of Gold. And I'm hoping that today is the first in a series that I'm hoping to get going called Meet the Founder. You know that I've been talking for a long time about wanting to do a brand spotlight of Heart of Gold. So I figured that since Ali is based here in Portland, I would just invite her here onto my channel and then we can talk about her brand together. So thank you so much for joining me here today. I'm so happy to have you here. Yeah. I want to go ahead and first start talking about Ali's experience as a massage therapist and an esthetician. You have been doing that for 20 years, which is really impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, so why don't we just go ahead and just start talking about that, because I know that that probably informs your experience as a formulator as well. So we can just start talking about that first. And then of course we'll talk about the products. I have some of my favorites here before me that we will get to, talking about ingredients and all that kind of stuff. But why don't we just go ahead and just start talking about your experience and we'll sort of launch from there.
Yeah, I've been an esthetician for 20 years. And it has definitely been really instrumental in formulating, you know.
Yeah, I imagine that touching skin so much probably helps you decide how you want to create products.
Yeah, definitely. It just, you know, it helps me understand how the skin works and that everything's so connected, and also what I like and don't like as far as products go. You know, when you touch hundreds and hundreds of products, and, you know, what kind of smells you like, what kind of textures are good, what works and what doesn't.
Yeah.
So it just gives you a level of discernment, I think, which is really important. And then also just understanding how no product's going to work for everybody. Everyone's skin is so different, and that everything is connected. And there's only so much you can do with topical skincare products.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it is internal stress, diet, all those things. Yeah.
And I'm sure that in your practice you probably saw, like you said, what works and what doesn't work, and then individual clients, you know, what helps them and then what helps other people.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you believe in skin types and, certain people have oily skin, so this is going to work for them, or dry skin, that kind of thing?
You know, I read Dr. Bauman's book about the skin type solution, and I thought it was really interesting. And to a certain extent, I believe what she's saying, but I think that, you know, everybody's skin is different. And it's not just like cut and dried, black and white. You know, your skin's oily, your skin's dry, like your skin's sensitive. Like, there are so many factors that can affect that. So, not really.
Okay.
It's more like a spectrum, like anything else, I think.
So if someone is going to go to your website and, you know, try to find maybe what product is going to be best for them, and let's say they've always been told, or they've thought that they have dry skin or that they have oily skin, and I find this with myself as well, if I'm going to a website and, you know, let's say my concerns are, you know, anti-aging or melasma or, you know, those kinds of things, and you're trying to figure out, well, what's the best place to start, or how do I discover, you know, what's going to be best for me from this line that I've never bought from before. I don't know, how would you best steer somebody who's going to and let's just say too that you can now your products are now found at Cat Beauty, which congratulations, that's so exciting.
Yeah.
And then also you were saying Green Jungle.
Yeah, the Green Jungle Beauty Shop, and they're in Canada and they ship internationally.
Okay, so you can find Heart of Gold. Your website's name is heartofgold.love. And then Cat Beauty, and then the Green Jungle Beauty. So if you want to find Ali's line, that's where you can go. So if they're going to go to one of those places to find you, what's the best place to start? If you know, because it can get so confusing.
Yeah, absolutely, it is confusing. That's why I sell samples on my website.
Oh, great!
Because I feel like, you know, your skin is always going to know best what it's going to like, texture-wise, scent-wise. How it's going to interact with different ingredients. Sometimes you just really can't know until you try something. That, and I feel like I'm all about intuition and following your gut instincts on things. And I feel like we know a lot more than we give ourselves credit for. So
I appreciate you saying that so much. Yes.
So feeling that empowerment that you can just listen to your gut and think, you know what, that cleanser really sounds like it's going to be a cool, good fit for me. It sounds intriguing. I want to try it. Just follow that intuition. It's totally fine. Even if it's like, it says it's for oily skin, but, I have more dry skin. So just go for it. You are allowed to trust yourself on that.
Right.
And that is a powerful thing.
I love that you just said that. I really, I think that's so important. Yeah. Thank you so much for saying that.
Absolutely.
Because I've actually mentioned that on my channel here too, that I think that a lot of it is being more playful and experimenting, and like you said, just kind of going with that intuition, your gut sense. If the ingredients seem, and I actually feel that same way with perfume, like when you're shopping for a friend or a loved one for perfume, I know that can feel really overwhelming too, and just kind of going with that intuition of just purchasing for that loved one what you think they would love, or kind of same thing with your skincare. If you feel like it's going to be good for your skin, then just try it. And I really love that you have samples available. So I know I kind of just went off on a tangent there, but I feel like this is maybe how this conversation might go.
Part of like how that's a big part of my philosophy about skincare in general, is like following your intuition, not just about choosing products, but about choosing what to eat and how to go about your day.
Right,
just
exactly.
Listening to yourself on things.
Yeah, and that probably stems from, again, kind of going back to my original question of your experience as an esthetician and a massage therapist. So
a lot of times people will know a lot more than they think they do. We're just doing the intake, and they'll be like, I feel like I used to have eczema and I don't really anymore, but my skin's really sensitive and reactive, and I used to be like allergic to dairy, and now I eat it. And I'm like, well, there you go. That's probably still something that your body's not too thrilled about.
Right.
Maybe you should try cutting down a little and see how that goes.
Right.
They'll usually kind of pop up with the answer there in the introduction.
Yeah, right. They don't necessarily need you to tell them.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe just reinforce something that they already know.
Yeah, totally.
So then also, aside from practicing as an esthetician and massage therapist, you also have a background in herbalism. So do you want to talk about that a little bit as well?
Yeah.
And kind of what that means to you and your relationship with plants and...
Yeah. Well, I think herbalism is something that I've been into since before I decided to be an esthetician, which is right out of high school. So I've been way into plants for a really long time. Mostly because I started getting really intense acne around age 11, and I didn't really have like a way to fix it myself, but I'm definitely Mrs. Fix It. So it was like, ooh, what can I read about? What can I learn about? How can I, have some empowerment surrounding the situation? And that's kind of what led me into aesthetics, and eventually I had just amassed a ton of knowledge from book knowledge about plants, and I was like, okay, I can tell you a whole list of all the actions of violet leaf, but I didn't really know for sure like how to identify most plants in the wild, and I felt like weird about that, definitely felt like it was time to just go and get to know the plants in their environment. So that's what led me to herbalism school. Just wanting to get the hang of being like, hey, there's some juniper, whatever.
Yeah, definitely.
And I went to the Elderberry School of Botanical Medicine, which is in Portland. And it's about half kind of like sciencey based and chemistry based, and a half psycho-spiritual. So lots of like journeying and meditating with the plants, and tapping into your intuition and all that stuff. So it was really wonderful. It kind of just started me off on my journey of
it sounds amazing.
Going out into the woods and being like, oh, cool.
Right.
There's some Indian plum. So, and then I also studied with Asia from One Willow Apothecaries for her intuitive plant medicine class, which was great also.
Yeah, and then talking a lot about intuition, you do mention too on your website that you're an intuitive as well. So do you want to speak to that? And that also will kind of transition us into a discussion about your skincare philosophy as well.
Yeah. Well, my best friend went to psychic school, and she's taught me a lot of skills about how to ground and center.
Right.
And kind of, I think intuition and accessing intuition is really simple. It's about trying to like let go of the daily static and just empty your cup so that there's room for intuition to come through. If there's no room, if you're too busy and stressed or whatever, and you're thinking about something else, or then you're not going to be able to access it. You need a quiet, calm, place where there's lots of room for it to come through. So
take a deep breath.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like getting the hang of that. Intuition is a practice like anything else. So the more that you try to get in touch with it, the easier it gets, and the more information you're going to get out of it. But everybody is an intuitive. You are. You are. So it's just about paying attention,
tapping into it.
Tapping in.
So one of my favorite things on your website is where you say there are no miracle products, but there are magical products. So I think that kind of ties into the intuitive process that you have for creating your products. And then also just talking about vibrational medicine. Do you want to speak to that a little bit, just so that everybody out there can kind of get a feeling for what you mean by that?
Yeah. Well, I think that there really aren't any miracle products, and it's important to put that out there, that I'm not trying to sell you a magic bullet.
Yeah,
like,
I think that's important.
Be the thing that changes your whole life. Like, everything is connected, and so there's skincare is wonderful, but there's only so much it can do. But you can definitely bring some magic into it, and intuition is part of that. A big part, I think, of the magic of my skincare line is just the relationships that I've cultivated with the plants. That I don't feel like I am like the creator of my products. I feel like I'm the co-creator. Like I ask their permission, and we make products together, me and my plant friends. Which sounds super woo-woo, but it's really true. They really want to participate. Important. They have a lot to offer. So.
Yeah. And I think it's also your dedication, and also, what's the word I'm looking for? Just your thoughtfulness also to sustainability, and not always looking for, we've talked about this a lot too off camera, the next best thing that's having to be shipped from a faraway country, you know, just working with a lot of regionally sourced plants, and having that awareness of social justice and what it means in terms of the plants that you're using, and the people where the indigenous people that it might affect. And I think that's super important.
Absolutely. And that's another part of where it's not just that our bodies, everything is connected. Like, everything is connected on this planet.
People-wise,
we're all connected. The planet is connected. It's not like, a separate planet when you go to Africa or something.
Exactly.
We're all connected, and we're responsible for each other.
And the plants that we're sourcing, we are going to have an impact on that.
Absolutely. And that's part of like when you were asking about herbalism, I think that an herbalist is just a person who has relationship with plants. They're in relationship, they're respectful, they want to understand the plant as a whole, and they approach it lovingly. That's so important. So when you get to that point, you can't just be like, I want to work with all these exotic plants because they're exotic. It's not like that. You kind of feel like, oh, okay, but that might be impacting these other factors, and what is there a different plant that I can work with that is more local and can have similar benefits, and it's just,
and don't need to be shipped on a plane and burn
absolutely.
fossil fuels.
Exactly.
And I've used the word exotic as well and fall prey to it, but it's not exotic to the people that are there.
It's just
it's their local plant.
It's just a novelty to us.
Exactly.
So we have wonderful superfoods and beautiful botanicals here. So.
Exactly. And then what does vibrational medicine mean to you?
To me, I go about it in kind of two different ways, and one of them is through doing Reiki on the ingredients, on the plants that are, out if I'm wildcrafting, and on the land, and on the products themselves. So Reiki, energetic medicine. And the other thing.
And I just want to say, I love that that shows that you're caring for the plants, that you see them as part of this organic, like interconnectedness that you've been speaking, like you walk your talk,
Well, they bring so much. They really do. And it's just the least I can do to thank them and take care of them as much as they take care of us. So
yeah, I think that's really important. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and I also have in my notes that kind of just your overarching skincare philosophy, but I think we kind of touched on that in terms of, I don't know, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it feels like your overarching skincare philosophy is really for us, you out there, we to be in touch with our own skin. And do what we feel like is working, and not necessarily be dogmatic about it.
Yeah.
I mean, do you feel like that's true?
Right, absolutely.
And do you want to add anything to that before we jump into your products and ingredients?
Yeah.
That's probably a skincare delivery. I probably have a box coming.
So we were just talking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely about personal empowerment, like not, waiting for someone to give you a product routine, or looking at the how to use and just being like, this is exactly, you don't have to be regimented with the way that you approach skincare or anything else in life. Have fun and experiment, and don't give away your autonomy.
Yeah.
You have power.
Woo!
Yeah.
I said it, girl.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's really important.
I love it. Yeah,
I'm always
that's
happy
perfect.
to help people, explore what there is that'll work for them as far as products, but personal autonomy and having fun and
Yes,
just
completely agree.
it's so important. It's so important. And there's
Well,
no
this is-
reason not to have that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and this is a perfect segue into your Sea Change Cleansing Balm. Because it's like you were saying, it's just a product you can have. I mean, all your products are, but I think this one especially too is one that you can just have a lot of fun with, and it's labeled a cleansing balm, and it's a beautiful cleansing balm. I've talked about this so much already on my channel, and I use it all the time. But you want to talk about it? That it's not just a cleansing balm, right?
Yeah,
You can have fun with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
you wanna hold it?
our friend Salwa of Bergamot Beauty, I have told her that she can use it as just overnight moisturizer. It works really well for that.
All right, another
you can
beautiful
also,
use.
Yes. You can also use it as a massage medium. This is one of my absolute favorite massage mediums. So for doing any kind of facial massage, it's wonderful. It's got just such a great texture.
Yeah.
It's not too slippery. It's not too grippy. And then the lymphatic drainage herbs in there. So we've got some chamomile, fennel, and grapefruit, and they all help kind of support lymphatic flow, which is where glow comes from. And you can
And also the mask.
right. You
I
can
like
use it
using
as
the mask. Yeah.
like a little moisture mask with a thicker layer, 20 minutes or however long you want to, and it's a really great mask.
And what I've talked about on my channel, using it as I call it like a shower mask.
Yeah.
So we've been talking about this, that we both really love warm, hot showers, warm to hot showers. I can't help it. I will always be a fan of hot showers. So I like to use this mask. I've talked a lot too about Moss's Burr Celeste as well. Both of these I love to use before a shower. I mean, I put it on before I get in the shower to kind of protect my skin from all the hot steam, and it reminds me to not put my face in the hot water until I'm ready to get out. So I find that this is a good protectant for that too.
Absolutely.
Sort of like a flash shower mask. Yeah. So I love it for that. So I also wanted to just talk about the meadow foam seed oil in here, because I think that is also one of those more regionally regionally sourced oils, ingredients that you do really like to work with, and I love seeing on an ingredient list. So that was just the other ingredient I just hope that you would speak to a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Meadow foam definitely is one of my all-time favorites. It works for almost everybody. It is a liquid wax like jojoba, but it's a little bit more moisturizing and a little bit more calming. I know some people tend to have like breakouts from jojoba, strangely.
Oh, okay.
But
So this is a little more.
Yeah, this one's just a little bit more
friendly,
calming, a little bit more silky, kind of moisturizing.
Nice.
So I definitely use it a lot, especially when I'm concerned with, dryness or dehydration. I tend to reach for that one. And I just think the flowers are so incredibly beautiful. They're like these sweet little white with kind of yellow in the center. And they just
I don't know if I've ever
so
actually. I mean, I've probably seen it, but I just haven't ID'd it.
Yeah,
so
they're just sweet, sweet flowers.
Oh, I love that.
It's just such a wonderful skin-friendly plant.
Yeah, so this has just become such a huge favorite. So I highly recommend checking this one out if you haven't already. And I'm not going to divulge too much information, but you do have a new one coming down the road, a new cleansing balm. So be
Seems
on
like it's almost ready.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. So be on the lookout for that. All right, so next, so what I've done is I've chosen 5 of my favorite products from Heart of Gold, and it kind of sets up a nice little skincare routine here. So after cleansing, we love to do a little toner. And so I chose night swimming toner. You want to talk about this a little bit, the star ingredient in here?
Yeah, it has a good amount of sake in it. It's got 7% sake, which is, it's an organic, locally made sake from Cava. And sake is just really rich in amino acids and kojic acid, which is a natural brightener. Amino acids are kind of the building blocks of collagen, so they can help support firming, and it's super hydrating. So it's just
I can attest to that. Love it. Yeah,
absolutely. It's wonderful. And then the yeast that is in sake is what gives like SK2 or whatever.
Yes.
That's one of the main ingredients is the sake yeast. So yeah, a tiny bit of that.
But I'd rather purchase from you.
Yeah, that's
and yours is more affordable too.
That's true. So this one also has the main base of it is rosemary hydrosol that I distill. And
that's
locally.
that's really cool.
And some aloe.
And
and
I
just
think
kind of like nice, limp, supportive.
And you had mentioned lemon myrtle, is that correct? Because it kind of has that, like the rosemary citrusy smell is really lovely. And on this one in particular, I like to spray it in my hands and then pat it in. And we were talking too before about sort of like that 7 skin method, the Korean 7 skin method. And I did a video on that, so I'll try to remember to link that. But I don't really do the whole 7 layers anymore so much, because I find that between like 3 and 5 is plenty. But if I do that and I'm using night swimming, I like to use this as the first couple layers, because I really want that active, you know, the sake in there for the brightening effect. So I really love to use this as the first layer. It's really beautiful. I love it so much. Yeah, it's a good one.
Oh, it also has a little bit of soy enzyme. I forgot.
Oh yeah. Is that natto?
Yeah,
right.
Soy enzyme.
Yeah.
So just a teeny bit of exfoliation. It's not like
super gentle.
It's very, very gentle. It's meant to be used every day, just a real low level, gentle exfoliation.
Right. Yeah. That's awesome. All right, and then let's talk about the Magic Mushroom Hydrating Serum. And you were saying that you really think that, I mean, again, not to be dogmatic about anything, you can use it any order that you would like to, but that this is water-based, there's no oil in it. So if you do prefer to use sort of going from thin to thicker, if you want to do it in that order, then this is water-based, there's no oil in it. So if we're gonna go kind of in that order, it might be recommended to use this one next. So you wanna talk about the Magic Mushroom?
Yeah, I would say the kind of the main focus of this is just acting as like a botanical hyaluronic acid hydrator.
So there's no hyaluronic acid in it?
No, I don't work with hyaluronic acid. I feel like plants have plenty of like hydration to offer.
And there's so many hyaluronic acid products out there anyway. So
you don't need to do that. The market's already,
it's pretty saturated.
Got it covered.
Yeah.
So this one is the main hydrator in here is just a silver ear mushroom extract. And silver ear is this really cool, comes dried, and it looks just like kind of a, I don't even know how to describe it, like a dried sponge or loofah or something. And then you hydrate it and it turns into this beautiful like jelly rose or something.
Oh my god, it sounds, like you were saying, like a cabbage rose.
Yeah, it looks like a cabbage rose. It's all kind of frilly
awesome.
and just so beautiful and just like so luscious.
Oh, I want to see one.
Dewy. I'll have to bring one over sometime.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the main hydrator, and then it has a blend of 5 different mushrooms. It's got reishi, emporia, and mesama, shiitake, and turkey tail. And they all have a lot of beta-glucans, which are just kind of natural kind of cross-linking sugars that make it into a gel. And beta-glucan is like a really calming anti-inflammatory gel.
It's so lovely when you put it on your skin. Yeah.
So lots of anti-inflammatory action happening, a little bit of MMP inhibition, which is great for collagen synthesis and firming. And then some licorice solid extract in there, which is a great brightener and antihistamine. So great for if you have kind of sensitive allergic skin. And then a little bit of shatavari, which is like another just really ooey gooey, wonderful hydrator. And it's a root. And it's kind of a female hormone balancer. So it's nice for, you know, if you get jawline breakouts or if your skin is starting to get a little older, you want to just support that aging process.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we can't move on until we talk about the scent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so as I'm sure many of you might remember, I've talked about jasmine a lot on this channel in terms of my love for jasmine sambac, and not as much for the jasmine grandiflorum. This one has jasmine grandiflorum, but I love it because it's so well balanced with, is it Doug fir in there?
Yeah,
Douglas
Doug
fir,
fir.
and then some cedar as
Yes,
well.
right.
And you have just balanced it so beautifully that the jasmine grandiflorum and the fir in there just has created such like this beautiful jammy scent profile. It's just really beautiful. So the scent in here it's exquisite, and so it's such a great experience, sort of like knowing that you're putting this beautiful like magical mushroom concoction on your skin that, like you said, is super hydrating, anti-inflammatory. It's going to do some, you know, nice support for aging gracefully, and then that beautiful scent that just feels really just like you're in the sweet forest, kind of. Yeah. Just, it's like after the rain.
It was dictated to me by the plants, because the mushrooms are like, I just got this vision of like a forest floor with this kind of net of mycelium when I was formulating it, and it was like, we just want to smell like the Oregon, you know, rainforest. And I was like, okay, I got this.
It's like an ode to the Oregon forest for sure. Yeah, you nailed it.
Yeah, good.
It's awesome. Yeah, so this is another huge recommendation, obviously. And so this mixes, the magic mushroom is so beautifully mixed with the Sweetbriar hydrating nectar. I've talked about this a lot on the channel already. And this is just such a star product for me from 2019. It was just a wonderful discovery from the Boxwalla Beauty Box. Actually, this and Sea Change were both featured in the Boxwalla Beauty Box. I'm blanking on exactly which month it was from.
I think it was like August, maybe.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yep. So why don't we just go ahead and just start talking about it?
Yeah. This works for everybody. It's kind of like my universal solvent. Basically, you can mix it with anything. It's kind of how I like to make a cream. Basically, it's just like 2 pumps of this, like, you know, between 1 and 5 drops of any kind of oil, and you got a beautiful moisturizer out of it. But it's great mask, hydrating mask. It's a good under eye serum. You can use it by itself. You can layer it as just a hydrating serum underneath stuff. It's super duper flexible, and it's very, very calming. I made it originally as like a summer weight moisturizer that you could also use as like a sunburn treatment. So it's just incredibly calming. And it kind of just does everything.
I know, I love it. This is my second bottle, actually.
It's great.
And I really love mixing it with other emulsion type products as well, and just kind of making my own like super emulsion. So, and it doesn't pill, and it plays so nicely with pretty much every product I've mixed it with. So that's why I really love it. And then again, like I said, I love using it on its own. And I also really love using it on top of other actives that I'm using, whether it's a retinol or vitamin C. I just feel like it gives me that extra nourishing protection that I might need on top of whatever active that I'm using. I wanted you to talk a little bit about the D-ribose in there, because that was a new ingredient for me that I hadn't heard of before using this.
I just literally heard it in my head when I was formulating, and I was like, what's that? And I had to Google it, and then I was like on to scholar.google.com, and I'm like, oh, let's see, D-ribose and skin, and then I was like, oh, cool. It's great for the skin. Awesome. Especially even topically, it does wonders. So it supports ATP production within the mitochondria in our cells. So that's just energizing. When your cells have plenty of energy, they can do the work that they need to do a little bit better and easier. So that means like faster healing process, and you're going to have those fibroblasts, those collagen producing cells, like cranking out a little bit more collagen, which is always good. So this is definitely like, it's so gentle and it's so calming, but it's also really, really effective for just helping your skin do what it does best, which is heal itself and just basically be amazing. So.
Yeah, well, I love it, and I think it's probably become a fan favorite, I would imagine.
It seems to pretty much work for everybody.
Yeah. Well, then let's move on to the final step in my skincare routine, which is typically a balm. Sometimes it is a moisturizer, but most of the time, or I should say most recently, it's been a balm. I've become a big fan of balms, and I think that your balm has a lot to do with that. That's brought me back into the balm world.
Oh, good.
So this is the Moon River Renewal Balm, so I'll hand that over to you. I talked about this in a recent video where I really love the part on your website where you were talking about the importance of this being the frankincense resin that you've used in here. You made the distinction between the essential oil and the resin, and I just have to say the frankincense scent in here is beautiful. It's so, I mean, well, you do have to like the scent of frankincense.
Yeah, if you don't like frankincense.
Then this probably wouldn't be for you. But I think, frankincense is I would say it's kind of a crowd pleaser. I think most people do like the scent of frankincense. But it's so soothing and relaxing and kind of transporting, I would say. And it's just really relaxing and calming for me. So I really like using it at nighttime because I feel like it just kind of does, I wouldn't, force is the wrong word, but it just makes me take that pause and just take in the scent and just kind of get ready. It's a signal to go to sleep, basically is what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? Yeah. So anyway, so do you mind just talking a little bit about the difference between the essential oil and the resin for frankincense, and then I guess anything else you want to speak about regarding the balm?
When you infuse frankincense resin, the whole resin, into oil, you bring through the bospholic acids, which are really anti-inflammatory. They're really strongly anti-inflammatory. They're anti-cancer, antibacterial. Also stimulate like fibroblast activity and cell turnover, which
the
is
bospholic acid.
Yes.
Okay.
So the frankincense resin in general is going to work kind of like a retinol analog. So it's going to stimulate that cell turnover in a really nice, gentle way.
Right.
And then it's also such a strong anti-inflammatory that it's not like a retinol where you're like gonna turn red.
Yeah,
and get kind of chapped and sensitive. So I think of this as sort of a gentle retinol analog night moisturizer. And it really does work for everybody. I feel like it works for super dry, almost that kind of rough texture skin. And then also for breakout prone skin, it's really beautiful. So it's kind of my universal. If I had to just pick one thing that I would take on a desert island with me, it would definitely be this one. So you can cleanse with it. It's just wonderful.
And the texture is really lovely. Like you were saying, it's a little bit more of a dry balm. It's not super loose, and it's not like a juicy balm. And I love a juicy balm, of course. I love all balms pretty much. I think the textures sort of have their time and their place. But if I, like you said, if I could only pick one balm, this texture would be the texture that I would choose. I like that kind of drier, sort of a little bit harder, firmer to the touch that you kind of have to dig out just a little bit. And then when you put it on your skin, it has that kind of, it's not necessarily a matte texture, but it soaks in pretty quickly.
And it doesn't leave like a film or anything.
And it does just a really nice job of whatever skincare I've done for the evening. When I put that on top, not only do I feel like it's going to protect whatever skincare that I've done, it also does such a nice job of just like nourishing and like you said, just the anti-inflammatory and just a really nice protector. I think. I really love it.
Oh, good. Me too. Definitely my favorite. Also makes a really good massage medium too.
Oh yeah, that's what, I'm so glad you said that, because you also, on your website, you mentioned that you can use this as a cleanser as well.
So just use a little bit extra, more than you would when you're applying it as a night moisturizer. And then put it on dry skin and then just take it off with the damp cloth.
Yeah, I need to try that. I actually have not tried that yet.
It works really well.
I have used it with gua sha.
Nice.
I do like using it for that, but I have not used it as a cleanser yet, so I'm looking forward to that.
And I do want to mention that part of the reason that this texture is a little harder, at least in the cold weather, is that I don't use waxes in my balms for the most part. I mean, that may change someday, but generally I think because my skin is breakout prone, I don't tend to aim for waxes. So it's just hardened with the sal butter and shea butter that's in there. So when it's kind of a more buttery balm like that, you're probably not going to see that like nice juicy texture or yeah, I have, yeah, it's going to be a little harder, but it'll soften up on the skin right away.
Yeah, but the pro to that, or the upside of that, is that it might be a little bit more appropriate for more skin types.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so, you know, waxes aren't for everybody, but they're wonderful.
Yeah. So one thing I thought that, well, do you have anything else you'd like to add to any of these products, or regarding your skincare philosophy, or anything you want the viewers out there to know before we maybe jump into something a little bit fun?
I think maybe just to notice that I do put Meadow Foam in the cleansing balm, in Sweetbriar, and Moon River. So I really, that's how much I love
Meadow Foam.
Yeah. Definite favorite.
I'm glad we talked about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so I thought it'd be kind of fun to see what you have in your little travel bag, your little tote, or not tote bag, but like dopp kit or whatever that you carry with you around, because I think it's always interesting to see what people take with them and what you're loving to use these days.
Let me just run over and grab something else.
Oh, sure.
Okay. So you guys, I don't wear that much makeup usually, but it's pretty much my entire collection in here, and some of it's just herbs. So we've got a Amaterasu eyeliner.
Yeah, so how do you, I've never seen that line before. What, Amaterasu?
Yeah, Amaterasu.
Amaterasu,
they used to be called Geisha Ink, but they're in Canada, and they make the best, let's see, eyeliner, brow color, and then mascara.
All right.
So mascara is in here somewhere. Yep, here it is. So Amaterasu, I think this one is a silk mascara.
Yeah, I need to check that out because your eyelashes look really amazing.
I mean, I'm very picky about mascara.
Well, I'm going to check that mascara out.
So, and then we've got some herbs. We've got some Nuka Rose tincture that a friend of mine gathered from the wild. And it's just really beautiful, kind of heart softening, heart supportive, and
so that's a special rose tincture that she made for you.
That a friend gave me.
And so is that one of your favorites?
Yes,
rose.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, what's not to love? I mean, it smells so good, it tastes so good, and then we got rose hips, which have so much vitamin C, and they're so nutritious, and then it's got these thorns, and so it's like a boundary protective medicine, heart medicine. It's just so wonderful.
So it's the full rose plant.
Well, this one's just the petals, actually.
Oh, the petals.
Not even the whole flower, but yeah, the whole plant shines through anyways.
Yeah.
And here's another tincture that I made, and this is a wood betony tincture, and then this one is one of my absolute favorites. And a lot of people don't work with wood betony.
I've never heard of that.
It's kind of related to like the mint family plants.
Oh, okay.
So, but it is really, really wonderful. It's like a deep breath in a bottle. For me, it's like just this instant like shoulder relaxing, like I just feel amazing when I take it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, you know, brain and concentration support. Yeah, it doesn't smell too wonderful.
Oh,
it's not like the rose.
It's more of the experience of when you take it.
But you can definitely take some if you want. Let's see. And then we've got, as far as makeup goes, it's a sort of makeup, but more like a sunscreen, and it is my Outer Sanctum day serum, and I just use, shake it up real well, and use 2 pumps of this every morning as my sunscreen / kind of like BB cream. Just a teeny bit of tint in there, basically, to tone down the whiteness of the zinc oxide, which is a non-nano zinc, and it's 22%. So it definitely gives you some good SPF. And just got some carrot seed oil and some raspberry seed oil, which also have natural SPF. And then we've got some Gressa, super old bottle of it's probably only been used like twice or something. Some bronzing concentrate. I guess it's a contouring serum bronzer. So when I need a little bronzer, I just mix a teeny tiny dab of this with my Outer Sanctum.
Yeah, I was going to say that probably mixes really well.
Yeah, it does. In fact, if people are finding that the Outer Sanctum is too light for their skin, I tell them to grab a bottle of that, because they can add a couple drops to the bottle, shake it up, and you got a darker color.
Yeah, definitely.
And next we have this Jane Iredale, I think it's called like a lip and cheek stain in Forever Red, which is like amazing.
I know, I love that one on you.
All time fave.
I'm definitely going to check those out for sure.
So great.
Yeah, it looks really pretty on you.
Yeah, I love it. And then my lip balm, the Bon Bon lip treatment. And I forgot to put a label on this one, but I never leave home without it. It's so amazing.
I don't think I've ever tried this before. No. Oh my gosh, it smells so good.
Yeah, it's got
Oh
some...
my god, do you mind me?
No,
I just did
go
my
for
finger
it.
in there.
Do it. Yeah. So it's got some violet,
Oh,
leaf
yeah.
absolute, some jasmine wax in
Oh
there.
my god, it smells
and
amazing.
fennel
I love the
and-
violet leaf. Is
Yeah.
it violet leaf?
Yeah, violet
Yeah.
leaf.
Oh my gosh.
And some fennel and almond, and lots of beeswax in there, which is
Nice.
so protective. It's one of the only lip balms that doesn't make my lips peel.
Mm-hmm.
I really, really love it.
Oh, that's nice.
And then we've got some of this, I don't know how to pronounce.
Olioyoso.
Yes, and it's a local maker.
Yeah, it's a Portland brand.
And Salwa of Bergamot Beauty actually gave me this and introduced
We
me
love
to this
Salwa.
line. Hi, Salwa.
Hi, Salwa of Bergamot Beauty.
BergamotBeauty.com.
Mm-hmm.
And this one is
Which number is it?
number 8.
Yeah, number 8.
Thank
Ooh,
you.
that's a pretty one.
Yeah, I think it's like persimmon or something is the color name, and that is just like you can just
Yeah.
put on your cheeks, rub it in. You don't even need a mirror. You
Right.
can put it on your lips.
Yeah,
It's a great lip balm too.
Put it on your lips.
And then the other thing I have is
Oh,
just
yeah.
some smoked Cava bitters that a friend of mine made. Cava, cardamom, coconut, cacao, and it's just nice to always carry bitters with you if you have like a stomach that sometimes has a hard time processing different foods, and this one
Yeah.
happens to taste delicious and be super calming. So I always take it for dinner parties or whatever where I need a little Cava assistance.
Little help.
I got the anxiety, you guys.
Aw. Who doesn't in this day and age? Jeez.
Yeah.
So you were saying that, so the herbs that you were mentioning, the internal herbs, that these are kind of more bespoke for you.
Right.
But you were mentioning that you do have some recommendations for people who do make herbal tinctures, and I can link those down below, but
Yeah.
if you just want to mention them.
So I really love Sophia of La Abeja herbs, and Fat of the Land is really great, and so is
Okay.
Wooden Spoon herbs.
Okay.
I'm trying to think
So-
what else. I think Zizia also makes really good tinctures.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a good place to start. So if
Yeah.
any of you guys are interested in some of the internal herbal tinctures, then that's a good place to start. So I will link those down below.
Sweet.
All right, so I think we mentioned again that where you can find Allie Heart of Gold is her website, heartofgold.love, and then Cat Beauty, which is so exciting, and then Green Beauty, or Green
Jungle.
Green
I
Jungle
think it's
Beauty.
the green.
I always get it
Jungle.
confused. Green Jungle Beauty.
I
Green Jungle Beauty?
think it might be.
All
I think it
right.
might be.
I'll double check it. We'll link that down below
Yeah.
too. And yes, thank you so much for joining me here today. It's been so lovely. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.